Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee for Monday, September 23rd, 2019. I'm Paul Krikorian, joined by my colleagues, Mr. Blumenfield and Mr. Price, and we're ready to begin today's meeting. Members, at the outset, although we have comment requests, I would propose items 4 through 9 for consent approval. I'm sorry, and Mr. Kretz is joining us as well. So the recommendations would be to, on item 4, approve the recommendations of the Collections Board of Review. Item number 5, to note and file. Item number 6, note and file. Item number 7, 8, and 9, to approve the recommendation. But we do have comments on those, but those would be my recommendations if members don't have questions or concerns. Before we go into closed session, we'll take agenda item comments. I'd like to invite Mr. Previn up to speak first, please.
Just on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll speak just on the agenda for a moment. First of all, I'd like to draw attention to the last 3 items, which are the refunds. And I mean, I know that you must have studied very carefully why Cobalt Music, run by a couple of interesting characters, are getting a $250,000 when you add the 2 of them together refund right back from City of LA Office of Finance, where Nicole Bernson is hanging her hat. I mean, I have to tell you, I don't see it. I don't see how. I know they always like to cook up a reason, but nobody shares the reason. You ask Chaudhry and he doesn't tell you. Now, the clerk has a little account, $97,000. It's called the Volunteer Trust Account, to put money to good use to get people to sign up at the clerk's office. She spends $1,700 this year out of that account on Verizon phone bills, and it makes $1,700 in interest. So the balance remains exactly the same. This is a little fishy. This is like the Ron Galperin talks about these different accounts. Let's put it. I think we should find a way to put that to good use and maybe ensure that going forward for perpetuity we do have paper meeting agendas in the hall. I know that's been an issue under the leadership of Weston. They tried to eliminate all paper meeting agendas, which is a disgusting idea given the transparency issues we've had down here. Now, in terms of revolving issues and revolving door, you know, you have to look at item number 3 today, and it's another lawsuit from the great Greg Smith, not the one from Waste Management and CD12, but the lawyer, and it's another harassment. Here's a neck massage down at the Canine Division, followed by a series of, cover-up is worse than the crime. And this is exactly what we're facing. Who knows how much we're going to be tagged, but I think we're doing a bad job because we're not adjudicating these things in a way that the change comes. Councilmember Krikorian, your record is, how many of these are you going to settle before they fix it? You need to hold them accountable. Now, I don't know if you need to get LAPD down here to answer, but this is just a rotating wheel of lawyers who give you guys money. So I don't think that's appropriate. Now, I will hold my thoughts for later. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Herman. Speak only to the agenda items.
Fucking cunts on item number 3. Filed a lawsuit by 2 K9 LAPD officers claiming retaliation. I know what retaliation's all about. My 5-year TRO by Laura Heimowitz.
Tonight, speak to the agenda or you'll
This is regarding alleged misconduct, motherfucker, by their supervisors. And I'm talking about fucking motherfucking supervisors. Also, what about the delinquent Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety? All those liens, A through I, 190160S55, Compton Avenue, $2,348. Fuck your liens and fuck your stupid building and safety. Now, as far as Avenue of the Stars, Trump! Yes, we need to keep Trump. Stars looking great. Paul Koretz, the Pig Community Amenities Trust Fund. General service. Then we have a matter of auto pedestrian. Yeah, what's an auto pedestrian incident or accident? Well, in CD8, dumb fucking niggers don't know how to drive with insurance. So you get in a claim, now you have to make everything clear for the record. You have to say, if I ever make me drive my fucking car with a rifle on my back, the first nigger I see, man, I want to get in my sights. What a fucking nigger. Yeah. Who chose these words? Well, it sounds like Congress chose these inflammatory, unpleasant, sharp attacks on our government. That's the reason why I use this language when it comes from the arise of auto pedestrian accident. So fuck the niggers in CD8. Fuck all the black motherfuckers in CD8 who don't give a rat's fucking ass about Boise. Yeah, Boise, nigger, Boise.
Is there anybody else here who wishes to offer public comment on any agenda item? Seeing none, comment on all agenda items is closed. That'll take us to closed session. Well, no, first let's go ahead and if there are no questions or comments about the items 4 through 9 that I mentioned, members?
On the volunteer, we have one question on one of the items, on the volunteer.
On number 5?
5, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we'll hold item number 5. Anything else, members? Okay, then the action of the committee will be on item number 4 to approve the recommendations of the Collections Board of Review, on item number 6 to note and file, item number 7, 8, and 9 to approve, and if there's no objection, that will be the unanimous action of the committee. That'll take us into closed session, so we'll proceed next with item number 1, 2, and 3. Is there any request for priority, or shall we go in order? We'll go in order. Mr. Previn, Mr. Herman. we go to general public comment, I think I might have misspoke on item number 5 because Mr. Blumenfield had wanted to ask a question on that. So I'm going to ask for reconsideration without objection of item number 5. And I hope we still have staff here. Okay, thank you.
Item number 5 is the City Clerk Annual Report relative to the Volunteer Trust Fund, number 892 for fiscal year 2018-19.
Good afternoon, council members. Ruben Veramontes with the Office of the City Clerk. Before you, you have the 2019 fiscal year Volunteer Bureau Trust Fund. I'm here to address any questions that you may have.
Go ahead. Thanks. I was just curious because I just last week we approved an item in the Innovation Fund specifically for volunteer creating online system for getting volunteers, which is great. I was all excited for it, and we're moving it forward to the council. But I assumed that there was no other possible way to fund that other than the Innovation Fund. I didn't know about this. I've never heard of this fund before. And just looking at it, since it's the same topic, I'm like, oh, why didn't they use this fund for that? So that's my question, is why didn't they use this fund for that? And secondly, what is this fund related to that? What is this fund actually used for?
So our office actually does the administrative portion for on behalf of the mayor's office. So they oversee the city volunteer program, including the crisis response team. As far as utilizing the funds for that specific item for the Innovation Fund, that's probably a better question directed to the mayor's office.
So what is the fund for?
So they usually spend a lot of their stuff for crisis response team items. You'll see on the expenditure report here, you'll see a lot of items for Verizon Wireless and also travel. So it's a lot of their cell phone bills and then travel-related expenses for crisis response team functions.
So is it trying to keep money in that account as a crisis management tool? Is that because we usually don't just keep money in the account, although this is different. It's volunteer, it's contributions, so I get it. It's a little different than
right.
General fund money. But is the notion behind this fund to have like emergency prepared money for volunteer kinds of things?
That's my understanding of it. Again, the mayor's office would have a little bit more information of it. We just do the administrative portion of it.
Okay, and there's no one here from the mayor's office who could tell us?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, curious about that. But...
Follow up before council.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
If there's no objection, then it will be the action of the committee to note and file item number 5. Actually, since we're noting the file, I guess you can do it at your leisure. All right, so that brings us to general public comment. Mr. Previn, followed by Mr. Lopez.
Thank you. It's Eric Previn from Studio City. And today I just have to raise up, once again, Mr. Koretz is on the hot seat a little bit because now it's clear that the after-action review report does not say one word about an encampment. The 18 inspection reports that the LAFD did on the properties that were damaged, not 18 of them were damaged, 6 were really damaged badly, and some other ones had damage. Says nothing about an encampment. There's no evidence of an encampment. There is just simply not. And the fire inspectors have written to me and said, we don't have any additional information, Mr. Previn. So I just have to ask you and Catherine Barger and Joe Buscaino and the great mayor of the city of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti, to simply revisit the facts, because what's happened here, you've already got your high severity ordinance passed, but you should not go around scapegoating tens of thousands of people who were not involved in that fire. There were no homeless encampments at the time. It's just simply a terrible, terrible story. So let's fix it. I beg you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Lopez? Good afternoon.
And I know it's not on the agenda, but I actually would like to respond to that last comment if I have about 15 seconds.
You can give a brief response.
My brief response is I went out there physically with the fire department. As soon as the fire was put out, I saw the stove, I saw the pot. It was very clear that that fire had started from what appeared to be an encampment of one. But still, be that as it may, one person with a stove and a pot and and a fire, and there we go. So I have heard nothing in the ensuing time except from you to counter that. And I would consider the fire department the experts.
Thank you. This is not a back and forth. This is not a back and forth. This is my meeting, Mr. Previn. You remain silent when you're in the audience. Mr. Lopez.
May I begin? Homeless epidemic is 60,000, 9% are under 18, 38% African American, 36% Latino, 25% white. Childhood cancer is the #1 disease killer in the U.S. for children. Statistically, that is 8,707 children in our community. Average age is 6 years old. 1 in 5 children with cancer will not survive in the U.S. Diffuse intrinsic pontiglioma, DIPG, is a tumor found in the pons which controls heartbeat, breathing, swallowing, eye movement, eyesight, and balance, with a 0% chance rate of survival. Many believe that DIPG, finding a cure for it, will lead to a universal cure for all cancers. I demand that we put money aside and lead the way as a community to help our children, because they are our future. Mental health, I could go on, I only have 9 seconds. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. 41,000 suicides annually, double the homicide rate. Epidemic with our veteran suicide. We owe it to our veterans to give them everything that we got. They put their life on the line. They come back without limbs. They come back with broken hearts, with broken minds, and we're just having them in the homeless, and that's not that's unfair.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Herman.
When our law punishes words, we must examine the surrounding circumstances to discern the significance. How troubling that this fucking city of Los Angeles has done nothing right, has done nothing that prevails in the interest of homelessness, our veterans, and our citizens of the United States of America. How fucking unconstitutional these fucking Armenians are to our country, bringing treason, bringing death, and suppressing our free speech. Fuck the asshole Armenians and their fucking countrymen. Because if I ever make myself carry a rifle, the first man and woman I want to get in my sight is that fucking bitch nigger Armenian, and put his fat cake bitch cunt wife to hell and never back again. God bless America.
Done.
God bless Trump.
From this meeting, I'm excluding him from this meeting for disruption. Get him out. Out. You're done. Stop talking and get out. You've been excluded. Yes, you're expelled. Get out. All right, is there anyone else here who wishes to offer general public comment? I have a number of names on the list, but I don't see anybody who is remaining, so if there's no other business before the committee, we are adjourned.